Hey guys, this is Jella and welcome back to my channel. We are now part 9 in our No Game Pass Autumn Town series. And this will be the last shop in our town, which will be a family restaurant. This is actually not the original spot for the restaurant, but since we added a few stores, the last portion left was this corner. I made sure to at least leave a decent space so we can place a good amount of dining seats. So we are working on a 5 by 5 square shop, which is a bit small for a restaurant, but it is alright. I also saw a suggestion for me to make a record store, but because of how small our town is, we couldn't add one in here. So what I thought was, I am gonna make this an autumn-style family diner theme. With the black and white tiles, I hope it gives the diner vibe. And in that way we can post CDs on the wall. So I copied the exterior wall from the bookstore because this is supposed to be a whole building with different shops. But since the cinema had a different style, I made the exterior different. But this restaurant's exterior would be the same as the bookstore, so we know that the building is owned by one person. I made the interior walls the same as the exterior for now, but I will be changing some walls later on. I also copied the flat green roof from the bookstore and adjust the height of the roof to your liking. Since the town is almost full, I am not much liking this plain green roof, so I added a slate texture to it instead. And of course, I copied this door from Starbucks and just changed the door color to white. I also added this industrial window on the sides thinking I could place at least 3 windows, but since it couldn't fit, just adjust them all to be symmetrical. Now going inside, we will be doing the kitchen side first to see how the layout could work. I don't want to add walls to the kitchen because this would make the restaurant even smaller. So since this is a diner, we will have island counters in front. And I am using the shaker island since we are on a budget. And for the appliances, we will only have the necessities like the fridge and stove. Since this is a diner, I will use the expensive stove hehe. And because I was figuring out the layout of the kitchen, I placed the stove on the right wall side, then added a plain counter on the corner for a small prepping station and placing of other appliances. Then I used this commercial sink since we will be washing a lot of plates in here. Since we will not add a wall, I just used this tall half fence to cover the dishwashing side. At least we will have a separation from the kitchen and dining seats. Anyways, I made the other counter a bit angled so we would close this off a bit. Then I added overhead shaker cabinets on the back wall. I also used the basic hood for the stove. And let's color the counters. So diners have this vibrant and bright colors, right? So I would just make it autumn theme by adding more greens to it and choosing a bright color green to have a bit of contrast to the brown wood countertop. As for the appliances, I will be coloring it dark stone gray to match every appliances here. It is important since customers who would be dining in this front counters would see the kitchen directly. I also made the overhead cabinets a green color to have this pop of colors because the wall was brown. I also made the partition fence wooden. As for the other appliances, I am just placing down the coffee machine and a toaster on the side. It is important since a lot of customers would eat breakfast in this diner, and they need their morning coffee and bread toast hehe. Anyways, if you will recreate this diner, feel free to add more appliances that you like. I am just also a cheapskate, so I just added a few hehe. I am also adding some kitchen decor, so I will fast forward this part. At least you will get an idea of what I am adding. So at the back wall, I just placed down some condiment dispenser, jars of powdered sugar and spices. I also added the chopping board with the knife. And at the bottom part of the sink, we will be adding the dish racks and food trays. I'm also adding this soap dispenser and a paper towel on the wall because we keep our kitchen clean and sanitary. I also added a rubber mat in the middle of our kitchen. And now I will be adding this tall overhead cabinets above the island counter. We want a ceiling indention, but since we do not have a Gamepass, this cabinet would make a separation and act as an overhead indent. So I just added 3 with the last cabinet being on an angle as well. Now for the ceiling lights, I wanted to have a pendant lighting for the bar counter, so we will use this industrial pendant and place one in the middle of each cabinet we added. Make sure to change the light color to warm tone to give this autumn vibe. As for the stool, of course I will be using my all-time favorite. This would definitely fit the diner vibes here. So for the seat color, we will make this vibrant as well with a bright shade of orange. And because it was too much of brightness, I made the other chairs a different shade of orange. And then I copied the cash register we have from the other shops. If you have the real cash register, that would be better. but I couldn't afford the Bloxburg one, hee. So yeah, I always use this toy cash register instead for my shop builds. And I also added condiments and napkin on the sides of the counter. Now for the dining space on the left. I want to put a booth dining seats in here. So we will just be using the single booth bench since the space is quite small. And I think we can place down 3 dining tables here. So I placed the booth bench first to measure up the spacing of each seats, and then leave a space for the table where we will be inserting later on. I also made the bench color the shades of orange and green we used earlier, so this is gonna match the whole vibe of the autumn diner. Since we do not have a Gamepass, we will be doing the delete-undo technique when we add the tables later, because this is a small area, so there will be an error when placing it normally. Make the dining table first, recolor to your liking, and add the decors you want. So we can just duplicate it and it would save up time. I also forgot to add some salt and pepper, so I will also add that on the other condiments. If you have observed how I removed one bench first, then deleted the other bench so I could drag the table in the middle, and when I press the undo, the bench would come back. And then delete the table, drag back the first bench we removed, and then undo the table we deleted. It is kinda tricky at first, but you will get the hang of it if you do it regularly. If it doesn't work the first try, do it again until it fits to your liking. I also added another table on this window side, but because of the small space, I used the regular dining chair for this table. And I am adding some windows at the back wall because it is looking so empty. We will also add a music player in this space, but if you want to add a jukebox instead of this, I think it would look great too. I just can't afford Bloxburg items right now, hee. We will also add the square painting on this empty wall and make sure to color the sides as well so that it would look better even though it isn't really seen much. I also added some small round paintings which will be CDs, and the decals I will be using are not mine, but I will still put it in the description box if you like to use it. Adding more windows to the side because our shop needs sunlight and view from outside, hee. I also added a neon sign in front since we will not be adding a restaurant logo for this. I haven't made any decals because I was quite busy, so all the decals I will be using for this shop will be added in the description box. Of course, we will be adding some pumpkin decors in front, and since there's a space here, I will just place a bench seat over here for waiting customers. And let's add a cute welcome mat here. I will be using this fall welcome mat and just recolor this with something green. I love this paper leaves garland, and we will add it on the roofing around the building since it is very plain looking outside. So I just recolored a single leaf because I wanted that orange-yellow combo. And I don't know why the exterior still looks plain, so I copied the vine plants we made from Starbucks and just gonna place a few on the corner. I am adding a flat roof here and adjust the height to the highest possible. So this would look like a tall building. I think it would help the overall exterior look. I just recolored the sides the same as the brick wall so it would match. I adjusted the leaf garlands and placed it on the side of the neon sign instead. Now we need to fix the lighting inside. So I will use the same pendant light from the counter and add it in each dining tables. And for the rest of the kitchen, just the sleek ceiling light would do. Just use the linen for the lighting. I also added a pumpkin decor by the door. And since this is a family diner, of course we need some high chairs for the babies. So I'm adding one on each side of the wall. And as I mentioned earlier, I will be changing some wall textures and make it this striped wallpaper instead and change the color too. I think it looks better than all the walls being brick. I also forgot to add a trash bin, so we will just use this one and place it on this side, hee. I came back to check the exterior and it still looks very empty though. Anyways, I will add some food later, so let's just place some table mats here for the tables that has customers for roleplay purpose. So we will use this plaid texture and I will just add a plate and some utensils on the side. For the other tables, I will leave it empty so you can see how the place looks like with and without the setup in each table. I also added a cake stand on the front counter to display the best-selling apple pie. And yeah, we are finally finished with the last shop in our no Gamepass autumn town. And this is our small family diner located on the corner street of the town. I think by adding that tall flat roof made this town look nicer because it looked like a tall building. So this is how the front of the restaurant looks like. We have a bench over here for the waiting customers because the diner becomes full during meal hours. And this decal I have in front is from 7i US, all credits to the owner. So yeah, this is the exterior, now let's head inside. And once you enter, the bar counter seats are right in front of you. We have booth bench dining seats for families on the left. So this is how our family diner autumn theme looks like. I love the colors, and the chairs is giving the autumn vibes with its vibrant colors. So we also have a table for two here. I also added the CDs in here since we cannot make a record shop. I think the CD displays look so cute. If I have an option, I wouldn't want to dine in the bar counter just because I am afraid I might fall off my seat when there is no back support, hee. Hee. Nope. Anyways, the diner is quite small, but I think overall we kinda worked it out, and still we have 4 dining tables and 5 bar seats. I shouldn't have added a plate here because, there is a plate on every dish. So if you will add a dish in the table, just don't add the plates to save money. But for roleplay purpose, I think it is alright if the customers finish the food, there would be an empty plate on the table instead of having no plates at all. We have high chairs on the side for the families that have a baby. And this record player, it is just for display purpose only, hee. And now going to our open kitchen, this is actually quite spacious for the cooks and servers. I just made the kitchen simple, so feel free to add appliances that you would like. We have a small prepping area over here, so yeah, I guess you can prepare the foods in front of the customers if you like, hee. If you also have the real cash register, it would look much better than this toy one. Anyways, that is the last shop in our town. Thank you guys for watching the part 9 of our No Game Pass Autumn Town series. The next parts would be the houses in this town, and I am so excited because that would be the last 3 parts before the full tour. Also guys, I would appreciate your support by giving this video a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Click on the notification bell so you won't miss the latest videos I upload. Help me reach 10,000 subs before 2024 ends. This would help me a lot, especially in making future videos for you all. Love you guys. All the build information and decal codes I used in this video will be in the description box. Have a wonderful day, afternoon, or night. Love you all and take care. See you on my next video.